Namaste and welcome. Now in this video we are gonna break down the Alchemist, the ego aware, the construct aware in ego development. So this is second to last stage. According to the research, only about 1% of the population are within this stage. So the worldview of this stage is quite different. So here we're stepping into a fifth person perspective. So has very much understand itself, can see its habits and realize the reality is constructed by the ego, the meaning maker. So we're gonna break down different points how this stage view the world. And it's a little bit different from the previous. Some thoughts and ideas here might seem a little bit crazy. However, remember this is very few people see the world this way. So keep an open mind as we dive into this stage. What is the focus of this stage? Embracing paradoxes, serving oneself but also others with humility, and understand the construct nature of reality. What about self-identity for this stage then? The ego-aware stage, recognizing the fluid nature process of self, moving beyond a fixed identity to a more ever-evolving understanding of selfhood. So they realize they have now one identity. They're changing as the ego changes. How does this self view others then? Through a lens of deep empathy, understanding their complex and dynamic personalities. There's appreciation for different worldviews and a tolerance for others' solution to life's challenges without losing sight of their limitations. What about morality then? Well, morality is seen as fluid and contextual, with a deep understanding that morality is influenced by societal but also linguistic framework, with an awareness of the limitation of moral absolutes. What about the ability to self-reflect? This stage possesses a deep self-reflection, often over-analyzing one's thoughts, behavior from the higher perspective. They are also aware of the limitation of the rational mind and the constructed nature of the meaning-making process. What are new skills? They're moving away from system thinking, recognize the limitation of systems themselves, and a deconstruction of self. They recognize that the ego's narrative as the meaning making, and they also have the ability to change these narrative, which is massive. What about the emotional landscape for this stage? It's deep and complex, often a mix of liberation but also despair as they grapple with the meaninglessness of certain construct, and also the limitation of language and rationality. What about relationship to others? This stage is characterized by a deep empathy and understanding and a focus on helping others find their path. There's a balance between offering help and allowing others to find their own meaning and path in life. What about the interpersonal style of this stage? It's empathetic, non-defensive, and these individuals can tailor their communication to meet others where they are at in their own development, often acting as catalysts or mentors. You might have someone in your life that may help you find your path. That might be an alchemist. The cognitive approach of this stage is marked by the ability to see through the construct and recognizing the limitation of thoughts, but also language. There's also a focus on exploring the underlying process of meaning making and the interconnectedness of all concepts. The internal world is constant reflection and deconstruction. Individuals are aware of the fleeting nature of thoughts, but also feelings, often experience the futility to find lasting meaning through rational means alone. That leads us into what fear or anxiousness does this stage have? The main anxiousness is a fear not be understood by others because of the complex thought and understanding and high perspective, but also feeling hubris by thinking that way. Problem solving at this stage, they recognize the limitation of previous method and embracing a more fluid and dynamic approach to the problem. There's a focus here also allowing others to find their own solution rather than push their own solution on them. What about organization type? Where do they thrive? This stage prefer to work alone or create their own organization, often serve as the catalyst for change. They might even leave the organization once their transformational work is done. So they build it up, people take over and they leave. So very good leaders. There we go. That's the stage of the alchemist, or the ego aware, or the construct aware. A very high perspective, and they still have the strength and weaknesses, and also path to growth, because it is one more step above this stage. So the strength is to have a profound empathy and understanding of others. The ability to understand and deconstruct complex system for problem solving. The flexibility of interaction between different people. They're very good at meeting people where they're at through language, recognizing that language and words means a lot of different things. So they sort of are very good at communicating what people are at. They have a deep introspective and very reflective. They can go in themselves because they have a fifth person perspective, so they can see themselves from multiple angles through the eyes through other people and go in and out. So they're very good at reflecting. So that is some strength. Let's have a look at the weaknesses. Weakness then. Potential for existential despair and loneliness. Because they have such a high perspective, they might have difficulty finding people to talk to, so they can lead to loneliness. Another thing is difficulties finding satisfaction in conventional achievements or relationships, because they realize all of these are construct of the ego, and following this will not lead them to any happiness. So that's some of the weaknesses. Let's see how, if someone is in this stage, how do one grow to the next stage, which is the unitive stage. And then you actually leave in the post-conventional and you're heading to the transcendence. So how do you do that? How do you grow? One way to grow is embrace more paradoxes and non-duality. Another thing is deepen spiritual understanding or existential understanding. Another thing to grow is let go of the identity construct. So start leaving your name, everything behind. You are not the ego. Go even higher. Surrender all control and trust in everything. So there we have it. The construct aware, the ego aware, the alchemist. It has understanding that thoughts and everything around you is created by the ego, and it can observe it and start separating itself from the ego. It's a very high perspective and very interesting to learn. It gives you a great framework. But according to this research, people within this stage feel alone and feel that most people don't understand them and can feel a little bit sad sometimes. But I also asked them, would you like to go back to the earlier stages? Then all of them said, no, I wouldn't. It just creates, you have a big view, you can see a lot of perspective of everything. And that can be hard to connect to some people. But even though they're very good at understanding other people, where they're from, and communicate with them. Excellent. Our next stage and a final stage is unity. And here we're moving away. And it's going to be quite interesting to present this one for you. And as always, if you like this, like, subscribe. Any questions, comment below. As always, have a great day and namaste.